Man.
What'd you say?
Nothing bad to worry about me.
All right, we're going here, fellas. Colby, thanks for coming, man. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's test out the microphone. Yeah, it's good.
We're good.
We're good right there.
All right.
I think everyone that tunes in and listens to this, like right away, just automatically assumes I'm going to talk about the microphone right away. Within the first 5 minutes, I'm on someone's ass about the microphone.
You know, you're half hour in sometimes. We're like, yo, bring the microphone back to your face.
Well, I don't know if I've said this yet, but like it'll be nice to one day like have a guy, because like right now I got to watch this, I got to watch the camera, and I got to watch this screen at the same time, hold the conversation. So
you need more eyes.
Yeah, we need more eyes on it. It's like I'm trying to make sure everything runs smoothly while hold the conversation.
And my eyes are just glossed over, just out of it. I have expected to walk in and see Stroby behind the camera back there.
Did you?
Things, yeah.
Yeah,
just seeing how much content he's doing now.
Oh, yeah.
So
he should be. He said that he was going to do one. Erko, he said he actually wanted to do a couple, but he lives downtown.
Right.
So it's tough for him to get here. But you know where he might
Jump
be.
on the number 4 fucking Metro Transit, buddy. Be here in 20 minutes.
You know where he might be moving to?
Where?
Rickman's place.
Oh, in Fairview.
This is what I heard.
Well, you just put it out there, so you better hope.
Because Rickman's place has 5 rooms, and he wants to get them filled.
It's in Fairview, isn't it?
Oh.
But God's country, buddy. Imagine.
Sorry, Colby. I didn't even offer. Do you want some coffee?
No, I'm all good, man.
You sure?
Thank you. Yeah, I'm pissing off. It's all right.
All right.
You got to be clean. No coffee.
How many podcasts have you been on?
0. 1 today.
So
0.
So how's the comfort level so far? Are you nervous at all?
I'm pretty comfortable. You guys make me feel welcome, so that's good.
Honestly, when we first started this, I bet we made other people feel nervous because I was nervous myself.
Yeah.
Like when I first started these things, I
think that might be everything. You guys just chill out. Yeah, you have to, man.
Good
That's
vibe.
why come in, hang out.
We have that
got
thing
the little
going.
stick lit. Yeah,
he calls it incest, but it's incense. Incest. I fuck up a lot on here, but so does he.
That's not. Yeah, right.
Yeah, you do.
Man, I'm a man of the mic.
You're a statistics man.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Stats guy. Yeah, sometimes. You know your own though.
Look at this right here. You know we know the day you were born, how much you weighed when you were a baby. We know everything about you right now.
You don't have my points per game. We're all right.
Yeah, you got your points per game.
Do we? Oh, fuck. Nah, Justin Jr.
No, we're set.
It's a good little stat to have. I find so sometimes, you know, you'd be like, this guy sitting there talking about how good he is or something like that, which really hasn't happened yet. But if he is, then you can be like, yeah, well, fucking guess really? What? Nah, we haven't had that yet. We haven't had Billy on, so.
Is Billy going to talk about himself the whole time?
It's all he knows how to do. I'm Billy. I played hockey. Anyways.
All right, so we got Colby here. Do you talk about yourself a lot?
No, I try not to.
Oh, you're going to have to today, man, so get ready for it.
Give us the proper pronunciation of your last name, because Belanger had a hard time with it. Lanceleve.
Lanceleve. I was saying Lanceleve.
That's pretty close.
No. What was I saying?
Oh, something horrible.
Well, the intro, like I do the intro before you get here, and I was trying to do the intro, and I waited for Dudes to get here because I didn't want to fuck up your last name without him being here. Anyways, we got it down right. We got it down packed.
We're good. You find it's a name that announcers fucked up a lot? Almost always, yeah. Yeah? I just don't understand, like, there's only a couple ways it can go, you know? Right. Like, I know for me personally, dude, like, I got do set all the time, which is like, I mean, I get it, you're being lazy and you can't figure it out, but where's the C? Right. Do you know what I mean? Just make things up sometimes, it seems like they're doing. Yeah, sometimes I think they just do it maybe to piss you off. Maybe. Or at least maybe that was my mindset at that point.
Belanger,
when it comes to you, yeah, maybe they were. Yeah, probably.
You probably pissed them off all game, and they finally got to say your name. 2 minutes, Matt Doucette.
Douchebag. Doucette.
Well, you probably got 3 penalties in the first minute, so I think in the first period, sorry. So
let's be clear about something here, fellas.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Not very often the old boy put the team down 2 minutes, okay? Because I was on the penalty kill, so that was my ice time. I'm going to the box. I'm going to the box for 10 fucking minutes plus, or I'm going to the dressing room. None of this 2 minute shit, okay? So for the record now, no more penalties, just misconduct.
If there was one person that I would say was pretty good at bringing the other guy to the box, it was you, because you pissed people off and people usually retaliated against you. So if there was a skill set that I think you've mastered,
there you go.
It was bringing the other guy to the box.
Well, once you get a penalty, you're like, shit. Now I have to do something. Like if I have to take 4 for his 2, that's fine. You know what I mean? Just take him with you. That way it's even.
Yeah. What kind of player were you growing up? Give me your skill set. Give me the thing that you loved, I guess, in hockey.
That I loved?
That you were good at, I guess. We're all good at something.
I thought, as far as skills, I was more of a playmaker. I thought I could move the puck.
Okay.
Let the puck do the work.
I always worked hard. Tried to work hard, but I was happy with some parts of my game, not happy with others, but I always thought I could put a puck in the tape or set the play up.
It's funny you say work hard. Most players don't say that. Most players say, "Oh, I had great hands. I had a great shot. I was a great skater."
Yeah.
A lot of players don't say I'm a hard worker. That's an interesting thing that you say that.
Maybe
that's probably,
I didn't get anything else too naturally. I didn't have the size. I didn't have a hard shot. Wasn't a great skater, but kind of had to work hard to get good at those things.
Well, then when you're working hard at something, you're working hard in all areas. That way, you're gonna get better. It's just. It sounds cliche, but it's just plain and simple. If you work hard, you know.
And if you're a coach, sorry, you go.
No, that's the only thing I think I consistently did. That's
just work. Well, that's another word.
You have to. So
it's another word. Consistently. It's hard to be a good player and not be consistent. If you're a consistently hard worker, I think those are two skill sets that a coach would look for. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely not. And as far as that goes, coaches always say, like, I'd rather have the hardest working guy than the most skilled guy because...
Absolutely.
At the end of the day, who's going to show up probably, you know?
Yeah, you know what you're getting anyways.
Exactly.
How many times have you heard that story of guys making the NHL? Not really the biggest skilled guys, but just hard workers every single night.
Yeah, our whole entire province.
Yeah, essentially.
Except for, like, you know... Marshy, Nate, and Sid, right?
But still, man, those guys are all horses.
They are,
yeah, for sure. I'm not saying they don't work hard, but I'm saying guys like O'Donnell and Sill and like Liam O'Brien, like those guys had to bash heads and kill themselves just to even get a sniff. You know what I mean? So that's, like I said, it goes back to if you just work your hardest. It's easy for me to say too because I didn't work hard. And I didn't get anything. Yeah. So it's easy on this side of the fence. You know what I mean? Yeah, right? So
it is, It is kind of incredible how many guys that we've produced in the NHL are just on a pro level. How many people are in Nova Scotia? No million compared to Ontario.
Probably, yeah.
How many people are in Ontario?
I don't know. These aren't stats that I know.
You know everything else. Anyway, it is remarkable, man. About how many guys that we've pumped out up into the NHL. If you think about it, over the years.
Even just in pro hockey.
Yeah, and even pro hockey, that's even a bigger number.
Way bigger. It's like whether guys make it to the NHL or not, a lot of guys still get to go make a living, right? Like you got to go over and play. Where did you play? In Romania, was it that I seen?
Romania?
Okay, so let's stop there. Because when I seen Romania, I'm thinking
Russia.
Like how in the
What
fuck?
are you thinking? I didn't know what I was getting into.
I'm thinking of like romaine lettuce.
Where do you originally make this connection?
So that was 2 years ago, and me and Jordan McNaughton decided we were going to try and go the pro route. Mm-hmm. We both just did 1 year of school. So I was reaching out to some people, firing off as many emails as I could.
Love it.
Laurie Barron I reached out to because I knew he was in the UK a few years before. So he ended up getting back to me in August, and me and McNaughton had gotten a contract in Norway, like 3, I think, at the time. So that would have been a gong show.
So what's Norway 3? Would that be like A, I guess, if you were going by calibers?
Yeah,
here?
I guess so. Like, Norway 1's good, Norway 2's okay, and Norway 3's like, we'll pay for you to come over, and then you figure it out after that.
We'll pay for the flight.
It kind of sounds fun.
Yeah, it's a glorified men's league, apparently. So
sweet.
So in August, we got a call from Laurie, and he said he had a buddy over there, Tommy McCarthy. He's from the Toronto area.
Of course he is. That's such a Toronto.
Oh, wait, he's
McCarthy.
the coach, eh?
He was the coach going over there.
Played the show.
Yeah,
you know him?
He's a legend.
No, I
don't get smart. Jesus Christ. Who did he play for on the show?
I have no idea. But
exactly, so you're not that smart.
Minnesota.
Yeah, the North Stars, exactly.
Yeah, I think he was a first rounder, but if you look him up, he's
400 points or something like that.
He's quite interesting to look up no matter
so he
stats, life. He's pretty cool.
So is he coaching in the Norway 3? Is that what you said?
No, that was the contract that we got in the spring.
Right.
So it wasn't looking good, you know?
Right. Yeah.
We had to go with something.
Well, yeah.
So then August comes around and Laurie called me back and said there was this opportunity. He was looking for some Canadians there, Tommy was. So I reached out to Nuts and he was pumped up. So
it's a sick name.
Yeah. So I went there beginning of September. I guess we figured it out and went there. I had no idea what to expect. I just talked to Tommy on the phone a couple times. He seemed like a pretty rugged, classic old school
Your
guy.
kind of guy.
He was unreal, man. He's the coolest.
He's Canadian? He's from Toronto. Oh, okay, that makes it better.
Yeah.
Halfway around the world, you're being coached by a Canadian. I think that's a little...
So they're out there, are they searching for like... You would have been an import then, no?
Yeah.
So they have to use an import card on you? Is that how it goes?
We could... I think they could carry something like 9 or 10 and they could dress 5.
Jesus,
something like
sounds
that.
Like Jimbo's Junior A teams.
Yeah, it does.
It does.
You're out after warm up, eh?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
But so that was very interesting.
Those are the worst.
So that was in Romania, which is, you said Russia. Is that I don't know.
I was thinking of Russia and romaine lettuce. That's all I know about Romania, man.
Yeah, I didn't know much either.
What's the bar scene like over there? A lot of vodka.
If you went to Brasov, which is their Bucharest is the capital. Brasov is a nice city.
Yeah.
They would have some sort of bar scene.
Yeah.
We didn't have much at all.
Oh.
We were in a pretty rugged little town. There wasn't much going on.
So what'd you do, like, outside of hockey?
Yeah.
Well, we went.
Yeah.
I mean, the bar scene wasn't much, but we went.
Okay, you made the best out of it.
There was three spots so you could kind of bounce between. It was a very small town. The whole town went to the games, so
Really?
yeah, you couldn't hide out at all.
Well, that's fucked.
Didn't really try to either.
Were you guys like visibly imports?
Yeah, there was. Honestly, there was
Visibly.
3 Canadians when we first got there for the first weekend of games, because imports another thing. There was, I think, 10 imports in and out of there by the 1st of November. And we started season on September 4th.
Guys are coming like, nah.
Yeah.
That came around to how I got out of there, because I didn't see that lasting much longer. So.
Yeah.
Guys are landing. It's like 2 bars. See you later.
Yeah.
That's what they're thinking.
No, they all got dished, man. All of them. You'd lose 3 games in a weekend. Get rid of 4 imports.
Really?
Lose another couple games, 2 or 3 imports.
I guess you don't want to waste your cards on them.
But going back, did we stand out? It was me and a fella from DePaul, Manitoba, and we both had hair to here. He had no front jibs, and we both had big beards, so we stuck out like a sore thumb. Then we were hanging out with a kid from Toronto. It was black, tall, skinny black kid, so that was it.
Was there any black people over there?
Anywhere with they were all darkish brown, but not black at all.
Okay.
So he stood out like crazy. He'd stay out
People
till
were like,
4 or 5
whoa.
in the morning, and then the next day the manager would be coming in the room. What's going on, Soupy? You're drunk before practice.
Everybody's seeing you.
Yeah, that's crazy.
You guys wear tracksuits, like track jackets?
No,
matching.
On the road, we had our tracksuits and whatever, but never wear them out.
So what are the road trips like right now? Like what kind of bus are you driving? Like a school bus? Like give me something.
Paint us a picture.
Paint us a picture here.
Like how when we get to midget, I guess Bantam now in Nova Scotia, they're on the tour buses.
They're on the tour bus in Bantam now?
Oh yeah.
Dude, you kidding me?
Man, we missed out. They're getting interviewed by East Link in
minor
Bantam.
hockey anymore.
No,
I don't think Major Bantam.
Major Bantam.
But
Are they getting paid in Bantam now?
Jesus Christ. More than I did in junior.
They get more gear than we ever got, I think, too.
Are they drinking in Bantam?
Well,
I'm trying to think. Did I? Did you?
You definitely didn't.
No, I didn't drink till
100%.
fucking last year.
I had a few drinks. At Bantam. I won't lie.
All right, sorry, we cut you off.
it would have been like your low scale tour bus, I guess. So it was your tour bus, but we were going on 16-hour bus rides to Serbia.
Can you sleep on a
there
bus?
was no sleepers.
Ugh.
You could hardly even recline them, and they had the pisser closed. So if these guys wanted to take a piss, they were getting bussy to pull over, and they were taking pisses on the side of the
No piss
highway.
jugs.
Well, I never seen no pisser. I thought it was unreal. 16 hours on the bus overnight.
There's definitely a piss jug on that bus.
I was gonna say.
When the boys got boozing after games going back home, there was a lot of piss jugs.
Isn't that? No, you go.
That's something in hockey that literally will never change, man. Is bussies on the way home, the boys having beers and having pizza and shit. Like since we've been since you're 19,
You're allowed,
for legal sakes.
Yeah.
You're driving home on the bus, like you're coming home from Yarmouth. Like we got in so much trouble with Jimbo all the time, man. We'd have
About
practice.
drinking on the bus?
Well, the boys we'd lose, and he'd say no drinking on the bus if we lose, and the boys be in the back secretly getting shit faced, and we'd be leaving rum bottles on the bus, and boys leaving their dress shoes.
Oh well, yeah, you got to clean the bottles up.
That's
But
your job, not mine.
what are you talking about?
Anyways,
I think
That's why you got in trouble, that fucking mentality right there.
yeah, if you clean your shit up, you'd be fine. We used to lose all the time. Troy would just be like, "Yeah, no worries, just clean your shit up."
I had nothing to lose. I wasn't playing anyways.
Yeah, I guess so. Talk about one of the better social settings to drink is after on a bus after a win with the boys with like
Maybe nothing better. Not much.
Yeah, there's not much. You're right.
like I'd rather drink on the back of a bus than a bar. I think
Even
with
the
a bunch
guys that you like, there's always a couple guys on the team or a guy, none if you're lucky, that you just like kind of don't see eye to eye with. You're not really getting a good vibe from. Even those guys are in on the conversations.
Yeah,
they're in on the
that's your
beers. You
one time
fucking
to
love
open it
that
up.
guy for
Yeah.
that night. You know what I mean?
It's right.
It's
So
little
you're right.
moments. It's little moments like that in sports that are. I don't know. I guess sports because they would do that in other sports, obviously. But
Is it obvious?
man, I was gonna say, am I overlooking that? Is it a baseball thing? It must be a baseball
Depends
thing.
what you're doing in
I don't
baseball.
know.
Is it a soccer thing? I don't know. Is it a
can't call
curling
it.
thing?
It'd be a tournament thing then, but there's no think about it, there's no junior A soccer lifestyle where they're traveling to Woodstock and traveling to Campbellton on Wednesday night and playing soccer or baseball. You know what I mean? Like our highest baseball around here is the senior, which I play. And you're playing Monday, Tuesday night. You're going to Kenfall. Cape Breton is your farthest. You know, so
I think there might be nothing like it.
So I think you were onto something.
And whatever level you're at, if you're on the bus with the boys after a big win,
a
couple cold ones.
Here's my thing though: is it a major junior thing? Is it a major
like
junior?
You mean when it comes to like, are you allowed
like having a couple beer on the back of the bus?
We didn't do that in Churro.
No,
we weren't doing that regularly in Churro.
So then I don't think they'd be doing it with the Mooseheads. I don't think they'd be doing that with. Do you think they would be?
I don't think so.
If they are, who cares?
Then again, like you're going to the show first round this year, and like you open a little bottle and you're having a couple pops with your best buddy who's saying something to you. Is anybody? If you're running the show, I don't know. I've never been that guy. That's
the thing. You got to watch. Sitting around.
I don't know if you're freely 20 of them all boozing. I doubt that.
They don't even let to grow playoff beards.
The Mooseheads aren't, yeah.
So you think they're allowed to fucking have a beer on the bus?
I bet not, man.
But at the same time, I feel like that's a different scale of things. Like, I know Junior A probably gets a bad rep, but there's been a lot of guys that move on from Junior A. But as a whole, it's almost like the end of your road, you know what I mean? You're either going to do that or go play university or college somewhere. But the guys in the queue, they're like 15, 16, 17 for the most part.
Like that too.
And these guys are pushing for one fucking thing, man, and that is the next level. So even if you open a beer and coach says it's okay, someone sees you, the world we live in these days, man, could completely tarnish your name just by one underage beer.
That might be the thing too. It might have been different years ago than it is now.
Well, how would anybody know? There was no Snapchat. There was no your word against theirs. That was it.
It stayed on the bus.
That is true. Yeah.
I feel like that might not be a rule now because the kids are all like, eh.
And I know how we said social setting. It's the best social setting to have a beer after a win with the boys on the bus home. It is. But if there is that one individual that you're not seeing eye to eye with, and that guy is a snitch essentially, it can completely change the situation. Guy goes and tells coach, hey, the boys are having beers on the back. It's a terrible situation.
Worst guy.
Exactly. And that is, everyone knows a guy like that. Yeah. Everyone knows a situation like that, and that can completely ruin it.
Those teams don't so win, many guys right now.
You know?
Those teams don't win, do they?
That's exactly correct.
Wow.
No fucking chance.
So it's funny because...
Or that guy gets beat up and he's gone by deadline.
And he's just
captain goes into the coach's room. Listen, this guy's got to go.
Well, at the same time, coach and management, if you got this guy, fucking chomping at your cheese every second day, there's something's going on. Your coach is like, Jesus Christ, everything we do, he's snitching on them.
Yeah.
Like, I'm just going to ship him out on my own.
You got to be a smart...
It's funny you said that teams like that don't win, because when I was just looking at the elite prospects is what basic stuff for this, it said you guys had been to the Kent Cup finals 3 times while you were there. You went to the finals with Plymouth. You guys won a Fred Page and you went to an RBC Cup. Is this all true?
Yes.
Do you have any snitches on those teams?
No.
So there you go.
See, there you go. So that's what
even
I'm saying.
The guys who seem like duds sometimes, like we were saying before, like you said, those guys you're buddies with for the night.
Yeah.
Like I find like when you have that culture, which it's junior hockey, but like Churro has that culture
for sure.
That's without a doubt.
Yeah.
You guys can change within that too, Guy might be, that's not his wheelhouse at all. Well, he spends
I'd say that's more common than anything,
right?
Though.
And that's how the culture can change you in a good way.
For sure.
You need good guys to
That's
win.
a very good point, man.
Say that again.
It's like the guy, it's like you're, say for example, him and I have been on the team for a year. You're the new guy. Him and I don't really we're kind of like, who the fuck's this guy? I'm not really feeling him. Then you guys get a big win or you have a big moment as a team. Now you're hanging out and everything kind of changes. That person, so you in this scenario changes. Now you're seeing eye to eye with the whole team, and now we're just on this tear because of one bad vibe turned good from just one good thing that the team did. That's when you know that you're going to be a unit and you're just all striving for that one thing. And
when that guy buys in, when that guy that could have been that snitch or whatever you said, right?
Yeah.
You get him to buy in.
That's a good point.
You need that.
Is this thing can you coach this?
What
you're talking about, like accepting a new guy if you after a win, everyone buys in. Can you coach getting everyone to buy into a system, or is that a captain thing? Like
Sean Evans does.
I think it's a culture thing. Like, I know if you have a coach that you want to play for, which I'm sure you always want to play for Evans, because that's all I've ever heard. When you have just the guy up top that you want to win for, and then you have a couple buddies on your team, or you guys were a team for the last couple of years and now you're a fucking family or whatever.
Yeah.
I don't think it necessarily can be taught. I think he just has to go by little steps of the year, like coach not being too hard on you and knowing how to treat each and every single player. So I guess maybe it is coaching.
And you got to give a fuck.
Well, absolutely.
If you care a bit, right?
Yeah.
And you got that culture around you, and
you don't want to be the only guy that doesn't want to win. You know what I mean? All of a sudden, everyone's battling, and you're just sitting there
because it comes out.
Yeah, exactly.
When you play 52 games, it comes out. You see that when you skate every Monday. Yeah. You know, when the boys are going out, and you're never showing
boys
up.
Are battled or injured and battered and bruised. You know what I mean? Like,
time will tell. Time will pick out the weeds in the group.
And unfortunately for a lot of teams, that happens in the middle of the spring, and then you're fucked.
Or in the playoffs.
That's what
that's even worse.
I guess the spring would be playoffs.
Middle spring.
You've played in a few playoffs. You know what season they're in.
I'm a huge believer in guys teams like getting hot late. Perfect example, the Kings 5 years ago.
And they did that 2 years in a row.
Did they?
Very
you're right.
Yeah.
I'm a huge believer in that. I really don't care if you haven't figured your shit out before the All-Star break. As long as you have your shit figured out after the All-Star break, I think you'll have a good shot at that. Pittsburgh. Last time Pittsburgh won the Cup, first half of the year, I think they went on like a 9-game losing streak. Terrible. After the All-Star break, they figured it out, won a Cup. Huge believer in that, especially in the NHL. Other leagues, you can figure it out maybe 10 games until playoffs. But
look at Vegas. Their coach started right from there. The culture he brought was I'll call it the not give a fuck culture, because he said his players would make mistakes. He wouldn't say shit.
Yeah.
He said they're professionals. They know what they did. If you harp on it, unless it's massive or it's something you can fix right away, you let it be. Let him get out there and let him forget about the mistake and do what he's doing. Like Vegas's players, half of them he didn't know who the fuck they were. Like William Karlsson, he had like 13 points in Europe. He scored 89 points last year.
Signed a contract.
It's because they were a goddamn family, man. They believed in what they could do when no one else could.
Well, just a bunch of rejects with a chip on their shoulder, and they're like, all right, no one wants us, we're going to show you. I feel like that was the culture.
Led by friend of the show, James Neal.
Shout out to James Neal, friend of the show. But yeah.
So he's right. See, that was just him making a good point. Just almost enraged me.
It'll be interesting to see how Vegas does next year, because none of them really have a chip on their shoulder anymore. They're all like, all right, we're all studs. We made it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
It could completely ruin them.
It could completely. That was a big thing they had going for them last year.
Think about music, one-hit wonders.
Yes.
Right? Vegas Golden Knights could be that next album.
What do you guys think of the name Vegas Golden Knights?
I don't know. I don't know the significance behind it.
For whatever was getting thrown out there at the time.
True.
What were other things getting thrown out there?
Well, there was a few Knights. There was the Black Knights.
Yeah.
But then there was just some ridiculous names.
The High Rollers. And
like gambling names and stuff. Rollers. So Golden Knights, I think, was the best choice out of those.
For sure.
That I heard.
I think if I'm not mistaken, it might have something to do with their history, but I'm not sure.
Speaking of the Knights, London Knights, do you hear who's the guy that just signed with Ottawa? Kachuk? He might be leaving BU and going to London, or they're saying he might make Ottawa this year. They're saying he's that good.
Does he want to play on Ottawa this year?
He actually did say that he was pumped to play in Ottawa, because I remember someone tweeted and laughed about it.
He said that?
Yeah.
That he's excited to play in Ottawa.
What are you going to sit there and be drafted by Ottawa and go, fuck, I'm pissed, Ottawa drafted me?
No, I just didn't think that he would automatically assume that he would be on the team.
Well, it's not that that's not what he was insinuating. He was saying he was pumped to be in the organization.
Okay, sorry.
But he wanted to play this year.
It's classic media guy, overlooking it.
Yeah, you got to cause some controversy somewhere. Yeah. No, but if he plays for Ottawa, fuck, Jesus Christ, that's going there.
Yeah, I've been working out a little bit.
Studio's falling apart here. You got it? No, they're saying that he might leave BU and go to London because the OHL is a better feeder for the NHL, because they play more games in the CHL or the OHL rather than going college route.
Okay.
Because that's the game plan apparently for him. But they also said that he might be on Ottawa this year, so he really just did that, eh?
I'm a fucking warrior, bud.
You chipped the table.
It's actually better. What do you mean? I'll sand it and
it's all good.
Restain it for you. Fuck's sakes.
Who's your team in the NHL?
I like Calgary. Oh, who drafted me?
You got drafted to the NHL? I don't know. You didn't. You're
fucking holy fuck. Could hardly get a shift in junior A till I was 18. Junior A?
I still haven't had one.
Here, I'll fix it. If you want to carry the conversation, I'll fix it really quick. It's pissing me off that it's broken. I can do it. It takes me 2 seconds.
All right.
It takes me 2 seconds. Let's talk about something really quick.
It's just me, though.
Yeah, you can bring up something.
Oh, me?
You said you like Calgary.
I like Calgary. I like Calgary because of Jerome McGinley, honestly.
Was that from back when you were a kid, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah,
he was the first time I think I seen him, who did he fight? Remember when his face was covered in blood? Like, just covered?
Was it LeCavalier?
Thanks, I can't remember, and I loved him. I thought he was awesome. Then there was that game because he'd score all the time. You'd obviously see that. But there was that game where I remember him and Colin White, and you knew Colin White because he was from home. So
picked the county.
He was just a big, tough defenseman from here in
New Jersey.
Him and Iggy, because Iggy seemed kind of small back then. I feel like
it was
you
poor
grow up
TV.
and realize like he was 6 foot, like he wasn't like 5'8" or something.
Yeah, it wasn't Martin St. Louis or anything like that.
But he was. He kept going in his corner, run him over, then he'd get run over, then he'd run him over, and I just thought he was awesome, man.
Oh, he blocked shots.
He actually did it all. That's why I loved him.
So is that must be from your childhood days, man, picking that shit up.
Yeah.
Did you say you model your game after Jerome McGinley?
I wanted to.
You wanted to?
Couldn't
I guess
shoot like him. Couldn't fucking hit like him. But
you can't. I don't know, man.
I did.
That
I tried
shot
to be like complete because I seen like how good he was. How much
he was a hard worker.
He was a hard worker.
He was consistent.
He was still trying to get in the league like last year, wasn't he?
Last month he just retired. Like he just announced.
He's like, no
after not playing for a full year.
He's still trying.
It was like Yager too.
Yeah, I remember when him and Sakic ran the NHL. Like him and Sakic were like the golden boys of the NHL. And I remember they played against each other once. And you and I, we were on a road trip in Cape Breton. It was a restaurant right next to Center 200. Anyways, we went in there.
Casino.
Was it? It might have been. Whatever it was, we all went in and they had it up on the projector screen. And I'm pretty sure Ginla and Sakic fought. Maybe I'm wrong, but they both went at it. Whatever, and I remember watching that and just being like, I love these two guys. Really no end to the story, but I just remember that.
I still call the curve the Sakic curve.
Yeah.
And oddly enough, Sakic and Ginla were my two favorite curves growing up. I don't know why, I just remembered that, but
good guys, good hockey players,
good for the game,
good curves.
Good curves.
I hated the Ginla curve though.
Did you?
Yeah.
I like it. The good lie, man. It's like that. You can't miss pass even if you tried.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think about what the Ginla is. I forget it now.
It's just like that. It's almost skinnier in the middle, so it starts thick, goes skinnier, and then goes a little wider to the toe, and it's completely like rectangle.
It's crazy how the Sakic has lasted this long. People still use the Sakic. They name it something else, like they'll call it the Kane or the Ovechkin, whatever.
P92.
Yeah, but it's the Sakic. Sportsnet did like a bit on it a year ago. Like they did like a story on it, how it's still relevant and people still use it in today's NHL, the curve.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And Sakic talks about going to the Easton shop and like spending 2 days there perfecting the curve.
So do you like the Sakic curve? Because I know you're a righty.
Yeah.
So I always wondered, is the curve different?
Because it looks different to us, right? Like if I look at your left-hand stick, it's going to look like a bigger hook. And if you look at mine,
another good point.
That's apparently...
well, once you said it, I was like, yeah, duh.
So, yeah, like to me, it looked like I was like, oh, I want that Sakic that the lefties have that huge hook on it. But apparently, that's just how it looks to your eye because you're a righty, I'm a lefty, I'm a lefty, you're a righty. Yeah.
When you guys ever got your skate sharpened, did you ever say to the sharpener like, "Can I get it 4/5 or whatever?" I don't know what any of that shit means.
No,
I just say, "Can I get them sharpened?"
I didn't know that until junior.
Did you?
The only one I ever knew was flat bottom V, and that was when it first came out because I like my skates dull.
Do you?
Very dull.
Why?
Really?
Because I like for my skate to be able to do everything. I'm not like I don't dig in really much. I'm up on top of the ice.
You're on your toes.
I need to be able to get the fuck out of the way because someone's trying to kill me right quick. Is basically how it is. But like you know how like if you sometimes go to stop and your skates are so damn sharp that you like buckle your knees. You know that, or you
that
just
crackling
can't.
Sound.
You just can't stop because it's so damn sharp.
Yeah.
I can't stand that. So like I like to be able to like completely pivot on my skate just like that.
Like a goalie.
Yeah.
Essentially.
I'll go usually half the year, 3/4 of the year without sharpening my skates.
Wow. Interesting. What about you? You sharp or no sharp?
I like sharper.
Yeah, me too.
I like cutting in.
Normal people over here.
How sharp is 5/8?
No idea, man. Back to what I said. I don't know any of that stuff.
9/16 is one of them too.
I remember once
it's just the degree of the cut, right? So the sharper the degree. So I'm going to assume. What was the first one you said? 5/8.
5/8
would be a bigger,
and then
bigger divot than the 9/16, right? So you just have to think it would be deeper, not like that.
Do you know who Breaker is, or my junior A trainer?
He's a legend.
Yeah. So you know Breaker? He was our trainer and for the Lions and the Marauders. Anyways, we got this one guy that came in once. He got not traded. We picked him up from a junior A team in Ontario. He was really good in the O. He played in the O, had an attitude problem, got sent down to junior A. Anyways, Taylor something. Taylor, bigger guy.
I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yeah, I forget his last name. Yeah. Anyway, so he comes in first day, right? Gives his skates to Breaker. He goes, hey, Breaker. So here's the deal with the skates, and gives him this long rundown of how he likes them sharpened, how he wants them sharpened in between the second intermission. Like gives us if you know Breaker, he's just like, give me your skates, I'll fucking sharpen them. There's no 5/8 and a quick intermission sharpen. There's none of that shit. No. It's like once a day, that's it.
That's all you get.
So anyways, he comes in and he gives Breaker his skates, gives him this rundown. I'm standing behind Taylor as he's giving his skates to Breaker. Taylor walks away into the dressing room. Breaker just looks at me, rolls his eyes. Fuck out of here. Doesn't even sharpen his skates the first day. Puts them in his stall, unsharpened. He comes back, complains. Anyways, it was fucking hilarious.
That's what you do when people act like that. That was the biggest thing I found, is guys coming down from the next level. I was always so curious of how they were going to react and how they were going to act, you know what I mean? So guy gets sent down to junior A from the queue, and he was kind of a stud in the queue, but he was a peckerhead.
Yeah.
So they sent him down to junior A, you're always like, is this guy going to be a fucking dick, or is he going to help us out? But
hockey rooms seem they have that language of straightening someone out. It's not even a straightening out. It's just it's a vibe in a room. It's just if you know you're being a dick, you're kind of being a dick. No one will pass you the puck, or it'll be. But then again, it comes back to what you're saying about a seed in the room. You kind of have to address that before it gets out of hand, and then you start losing. It grows
to a weed, right?
Yeah, it grows into a weed. Exactly.
That's a bad weed.
I've never come across that though. Q guys coming down being dicks.
Bad weed?
Yeah.
Oh,
have you?
No.
Churro used to get. What are you guys looking at each other? Is there someone?
I've had a few bad weeds. I might even have been the bad weed myself.
The only not get. I thought you meant getting sent down.
Oh no, fuck.
The only guys.
Yeah, there's always. Yeah, you always come across a couple bad guys.
The only guys that ever got sent down to our junior A was.
But like you said, it has a way
Roski's.
of working itself out. You know what I mean? The guy, all of a sudden, he's the idiot in the room, and no one really cares what he says or gives him shinny or whatever the case may be, or sits by him on the bus. Then he's gonna be like, all right, obviously something I'm doing here isn't working, or he's gonna go, let me out of here. You know?
And those are the guys.
In that case, you don't want him anyway.
Yeah, those are the guys that end up in almost every team in the league, or a couple teams, and they go somewhere else because they don't last.
So you played in Churro the whole time, didn't you?
Yeah,
I've always admired that organization.
Yeah,
and in the junior A league at least.
And that's kind of how, because you're always trying to win there. Well, if you traded for a dud, then they didn't last long.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially my first year, we had a lot of imports in and out. It was my 17 year, but then my 18 year was when we hosted the Fred Page. So we had tons of guys in and out for the first 2 months there. Because you see what a guy did last year, what his potential could be, or you hear what one or two people say about him.
You also see how your team reacts when that guy comes too.
Yeah, he doesn't gel with the boys, or you can't find him in the lineup, or he's just a fucking donkey. Then so that's the way it kind of is.
Yeah, that's true.
But then if you send him somewhere that the team's got 4 wins all year and he's a stud there, then that pisses off the other guys even more if he's a shit guy and then he's sticking around because he's your better player.
Right? That's the thing though, when you bring other guys in and other guys get bumped out of the lineup that have been there for 2 years, that can cause something.
It does too, but
what?
You say it's a business, but I guess in the junior A scenario, which we're also familiar with, it is a business, but I guess it is at the end of the day, because you're trying to pay to get people in the seats and you got to keep your team going and blah blah blah, but it's you got to put your compassion aside, so that's why I think being a manager in that league would be tough, because you still get some young kids, right? And then they're just not fully grown into themselves or something, or they're just not from here. I found a lot of the northern Quebec guys that came here, they just got so frustrated that they just got so pissed off all the time that they just hated it, and then they got shipped out all the time.
And you're trying to, because you want to put fans in the seats, so I always thought it would be difficult to try and, what are you going to do with your local guys?
Yeah.
If they're borderline, well then this guy's better than somebody's from Ontario, so is he going to kind of take a back seat to your local guys so you can build up your local players and get more fans that way? Or
is that going to affect the crowd at all,
Yeah.
So I think with Churro, when you guys have such a winning tradition, I think as much as the people would want to see local kids, it's the winning product that the Bearcat fans want to see.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Whereas I feel in a place like Bridgewater, who's now, they're starting to win a little bit, but it's not so much about we want to go on a good playoff run, but they don't go into the season going, this is the year, you know what I mean? They're not hosting, it's just that kind of shit too, so.
Yeah. I wonder how many guys are on the Mooseheads right now that they're hosting the Mem Cup. Local guys. I think there's 5, right? Around 5.
Well,
I remember one time it was only Jared. He was the only guy from Halifax.
Yeah. And he had a ton of supporters.
Tons. Half the stadium showed up for him. If you think about it, it was him and then a bunch of Quebec guys that one year.
Jared
Grant.
Okay.
I found just from being down in Plymouth, and you played there. I found that was like a winning culture too, but that place was more like a family than I've ever even seen before in like a college
that was
scenario,
crazy,
man.
actually.
Like just the town, as far as right from the edges of the town right to the core, which was the rink of that town.
Yeah, as soon as you drive in it, man, it's a pretty cool town.
Like I wasn't even on the team, I was just Wig's buddy, and people knew me by the end of the week.
No way.
For different reasons, of course, but you know what I mean? But they're just like, everyone, they're like, oh, hey, how you doing? Come on in for, like, it's just like a small town feel, which you
really cool.
Which you probably
and
loved.
They would split it up, right? They would have the students on one side and then all the townies or family or whatever on the other side. But it's pretty crazy in there too if you get a good little crowd, which usually there was.
The place was always juice, man. Dressing room's amazing.
You ever go back there after your career?
Have I?
Yeah.
No, I haven't been back.
You should go back.
Regrettably.
See it. Yeah, just see if people still recognize you.
Well, now my senior class is coming right now. They're all just getting to school like these few days. So that's kind of weird. I think about that all the time.
I was going to ask you why, if you don't mind me asking, actually I don't give a shit, but why you only went the 1 year at Plymouth? Just wasn't for you?
No, I really liked the hockey. Mm-hmm. I didn't mind the school. It was all right. I was taking business. That was fine.
Yeah.
But I didn't think a whole lot about it before I went. I kind of just, that's somewhere that I wanted to go. And I had lots of time to think. I mean, I wanted to go there since I was probably in my 19 year.
Yeah.
And so I decided that like before the playoff run, my 20 year.
True.
I talked to a coach and I don't know, kind of told him where my head was at. And he said, that's a great place to go. You want to go there for a couple of years, he said. Why don't you...
They're just fresh off winning too.
Yeah, he said, get it out of your head now. Did they? Yes, they did.
Yeah,
they did. That's right. I started to losing there then, because when I went there, then we lost in the finals. They've lost in the finals 2 years since.
To Salem State a couple of years in a row, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, but no, I didn't really think about like the financials. Like I was trying to pay my first semester and second semester was getting due, right?
As an international student
and stuff like that. Yeah, it was crazy. The tuition, and then with the dollar, it was nuts. So.
Yeah, it was a tough time to be in the States at that point too, because I remember when Wig first went down, it was almost the opposite. I think
he was pretty close, like even dollar.
Mm-hmm. Which makes a big difference, man.
It's huge.
Yeah,
it's every $20 you don't lose $20. You know what I mean? You have 40 instead.
Yeah. Quick math.
Yeah, whatever.
But so I don't know. I chatted with the old man about that. He said, "You got to do what you got to do. Like you want to be there, we'll make it work." Knew he would. He always has. So I just had to make a decision. So I said, I got to get out of here.
It's a tough thing.
Yeah, towards the end of the school year there, my first year.
That's the tough thing to do, though, is even pull the plug on it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you said, you had wanted to go there for a couple of years. You worked hard to go there and maintain yourself as a hockey player, and then you get there, and it is what you thought it was going to be, and you loved it, but, like, there was just something about it that just wasn't quite right for you, and it takes a lot of nuts to step away from something like that instead of just, like, furthering yourself in debt and, like, potentially regretting the decision.
Right, and I didn't really know. I was like, where's this business course going to take me? Like, if I was doing it just for the schooling, then I should have stayed home and went for a couple grand, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't think about it too much because I was just so excited to do it and go there. And then when it came down to, like, what's best for me in my future, that sucked. At that point, it was definitely the hardest decision I ever had to make.
Yeah. Because then you're thinking that could be the end period, right?
Well, yeah. And I had no idea how to get into pro. I want to go to Europe, I said.
Because you obviously didn't have an agent.
No, and I never really have. So.
No, me either, so.
So, yeah, it was a tough decision, but.
That's crazy. I'm glad I asked that question.
Yeah.
Instead of you didn't give me the answer of just like, well, I don't know, it just wasn't for me.
Yeah. Hate school. No shit. You hate school. School's not bad though.
But do you think that playing that year of college kind of set you up a little bit better for pro hockey, as far as like, because I know when I talked to Wig about his games or I watched them online or whatever, like really he was like the only one that would hit. Yeah. You know what I mean? There was like the odd time where emotions would just fucking flare, and the guys are hitting and running guys, but then it just looks like a bunch of sooks running guys. Yeah. And then whereas like the junior A league and like college here is like crashing and banging. If you're on the board, you're getting killed kind of thing. Right. But it's more skilled in the States.
Yeah. As far as setting me up for pro hockey, I still think right now that I improved the most that season from summer to summer than I have any other season that I've played. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, and I think that was Because like I was young when I got into churro. It was like get scratched for 10 games your first year, and then be a third or fourth liner when you're in the Fred Page, and then I got to kind of take it and run with it my last 2 years,
which is always good.
Going there, it was like Craig Russell, fresh. He put me on the peeper. He put me on the PK. He put me on first line with Wiggy and Woody.
Yeah.
So I was, like they lit it up the year before, those two. Yeah, 100%. And like it was just like here, like this is yours to kind of take, and then you have your first game on Halloween. So you're there end of August, and you're not playing until the end of October.
So weird.
You get 2 months to just settle in.
But it's cool.
It's weird, but it was good. Like you do a month of captain's practices and inter squads and stuff like that, and then you start to ramp it up. So I got a good feel for it, and the rink and the people and stuff. I was just raring to go, and
confidence probably through the roof at that point too.
Yeah, it was good. Like I was on the blue line on the power play. I never been even close to that before. I thought it was crazy.
See, I think that's a good way to do it for coaching, because obviously they come up and they're like, oh, is he a bottom six guy or is he a top six guy? You know what I mean? Like, if throw the guy up on the first line, like a new guy, like for you, obviously he knew what he was getting in you. Like you put up some points in junior A, you were a leader from what I remember, right? You were on winning teams, so if you weren't a leader, they would have just shipped you out, like you said. And so throw him on the first line. If you realize he's not that top skilled guy, give him some things to succeed. If he takes it, and then you might even bring more out of him, right? Instead of being like, oh, I don't have you topped as a top six guy, so we're just going to throw you in the fucking sewer,
already
right?
Labeled before you even start.
But I get at the time, like there's sometimes in different scenarios where your top six or have been your top six, right? Whereas I know college, it's more of like a funnel, right? There's guys coming and going all the time. Right. There's different recruits coming every year. There's people graduating, guys flunk out, shit like that, right? So it's a revolving door. But I when you said what he did to you, I was like, that's awesome, man. I would love to have it that way, He was really good that way, and he gave everybody opportunities.
I was going to say, it's such an opportunity game, the game of hockey, man. You just need that opportunity to get your feet under you, and you just get going.
And if you run with that opportunity, then you get your confidence, and that's another half of the battle right there.
That is half the battle.
Marchand, when he first started with Boston, I think he maybe first year, I don't know how many games he got in, maybe 20, he had 2 points. Next year came back, gave him an opportunity. A bunch of guys got hurt, ended up being a leading scorer on the team. Did they win the cup that first year when he was there full time, or second?
I think it was the second year.
Anyways, he even admitted that. He was just like, I was just given an opportunity. A couple guys got hurt. I was able to be in the lineup for over 20, 25 games, found my speed in the NHL, and just never looked back.
Never.
And it's just like that in every single level of hockey, man. If you are able to stay in a league that maybe isn't your skill set, but it's a little bit better, if you're able to just somehow stay there for 10, 15 games, you're going to be able to find yourself in that league and just be so much more confident.
Right.
Especially in hockey, man. Hockey's such a momentum game. Ridiculous.
And that made me think of the first thing you said was where you guys had the month or whatever to settle in. So instead of you having to like rush down there, figure your shit out, stay in class and play hockey at the same time, you're able to just like figure your house out, find your classes, figure out who your teachers and classmates are. Where's the rink? How do we do this? What's the routine? Instead of just being thrown into the fire.
You got 2 months to kind of get your bearings and settle in, and it was a good. I like that. I didn't like that I wasn't playing hockey by the end of October, still waiting, but it gets you ready anyways, and it makes the season that much better.
Plus, you get to enjoy the Riv for a couple more weeks.
That's right.
That's my favorite. I was going to ask you, what was your favorite thing about Plymouth, because mine's the Riv.
What's the Riv?
The river that right through the town. It's like a beach, but it's a river.
Oh, yeah?
And it's hidden by trees and shit. You got to hike to get to it, kind of.
Oh, yeah?
Secret beach.
Oh, man, it's the most unbelievable place you can ever be.
You drive there?
No. Well, I drove to Plymouth.
Yeah, well, that's what I mean,
Yeah, I flew a couple times, drove a couple times. I went up.
You drive there, fly home?
Yeah, a couple times.
A few visits.
Yeah, I went up to see Wiggy a few times, man, for all 4 years, I think.
How long is the drive from here?
14 hours. Depends how fast you drive. I got stopped at the border for like 8 hours, so.
Why?
Oh, I had the .012 of marijuana in my car.
What?
Oh, yeah, I put in a cell, everything.
Did you?
Oh, yeah.
The dog sniff it out?
No, the dog didn't sniff it out.
How are they going to find 1 point whatever?
Because it was in like a box under. I had moved the day before.
Yeah.
So I had a bunch of shit in the car still. It was under the seat. It was in like a weed box.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was nothing in it.
Yeah.
It was just like fragments. And they pulled us in. That's because I was wearing a Hockey Canada sweater. I know it wasn't. We just won World Jays, so. But he was choked still. Good prick.
Right on.
So like I said, 45 minutes goes by just like that. Remember I said that?
Yeah.
What'd you do in the cell?
Me?
Yeah. 8 hours in a cell. What
well,
do you
it wasn't quite 8 hours. It was like 2 or 3 or something like that, but still it feels like that.
Are you worried at all at this point?
No, because he had nothing on me. I know the rules.
What are the rules?
You just can't have anything on you. But he had found like fragments, and as part of their law, you either impound my car or I pay $500 to leave. So I was like, okay, so what? I said, I'm a criminal to you technically, but I just give you $500 and I get to continue on into your country. I go, some defense. You know what I mean?
Did you give him $500 or
I
just
had
let you go?
to, or I didn't get my car back.
That's some shady shit.
That's a tough bounce.
Yeah, but I partied extra hard when I got there because of it.
Wait, did you pay $500 cash or debit?
Credit card, mother sucker.
I was gonna say, where'd that $500 go?
It wasn't my $500 either, so.
No, whose money was it? That doesn't matter.
Nah, I'm not saying names.
I'd probably faint.
Yeah, but you're soft like that.
I'm not soft.
Me and Lance are
I'd
here.
battle through it.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, you were with someone.
Yeah, I was. I wasn't traveling alone.
Well,
man.
was your buddy in the cell too? Mm-hmm. Did you meet anyone else in the cell?
No, man. I wasn't too happy to have a spot at 5 in the morning.
But was there anybody else in the cell, or is it just you two?
Each different cells.
Oh, okay.
Oh, you got your own cell.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it was real nice.
Yeah, I
was super happy to have my own cell.
I've never been in a cell. I
got searched and everything, but he's like, if you make any weird motions, I'm gonna take you down. So he was like patting my legs and like upping my groins and shit, and he like kind of nicked one of my nuts, and I made like a weird motion. He just dropped me to the ground. I was like, what the fuck, man? I was like, what would you do if I nicked your nutsack? You know what I mean?
Do you have to wear one of those orange jumpsuits?
No, but I wore those for Halloween one year. Walked across the bridge. No one would look at me, man. It was fucking amazing. Like 5 in the morning.
Halloween?
Nice. Yep.
Didn't you and I have a huge hike? Oh, no, that was Alex.
Oh, man, this guy's in dream world. He thinks he's been hanging out with me his whole life.
You've been trying to hang out with me my whole life. Jeez,
well,
it's complete opposite way, man. Jeez, I think I want him here right now. He's just lingering here. He just takes that mic every single time. He doesn't even know what to do with it.
I might have turned it off.
No, you're good. I've been watching the whole time. But
yeah, whatever, man.
Yeah, you do have to have your head in a swivel.
What's that? Oh, on this thing? Oh,
yeah.
my God, yeah.
Oh, well.
There's been times where we've done the podcast and it wasn't even recording. We've been down here for like an hour and a half.
No.
Just completely... It's probably one of the worst experiences ever, just setting everything up. And that's why we bought the HDMI cord, because it connects to the TV, so now I can watch the levels go.
2018, Belanger got an HDMI cord finally.
You see HCMI?
Yeah, that's what I said. High definition. Just leave me alone, man. Talk to him.
All right, man. So
I want to ask you something, though, before Belanger goes. How's your French?
I'm not going anywhere.
Terrible.
It's not any better now that you come back from Marseille?
I think I picked. Well, I know I can pick up on it more, but I never really tried to learn it.
Was it one of those? Did you go there just on a whim as well?
Well, you say as well, like I'm like.
Well, you said you
floating around.
No, but you said like the first time you were like it was kind of the only offer, and then another opportunity came.
Yeah, like that was So I was in Romania.
You don't have an agent, so it's more of a whim than anything.
The Romania thing was, I think 2.5 months, and that previous spring, I had been in contact with Adam Briggs. Is from Wallace. He's a goalie. He played in the MJ a bit and. Royal Military College, and then he went to France as well, so he had a contact or two over there he put me in touch with. These guys they were like active players who would work for an agency.
Really?
And they would kind of get guys over there and take a little fee or just help them out or whatever. So
that's sweet.
He put me in contact with this guy, and this team ended up being the 2nd division in France, and that was Tours.
Oh, yeah.
So I talked to them in the spring and went through all the contract and whatever, and then they said they gave me whatever their request was, and I said, yeah, 100%, I'll do that. Came back and said they couldn't make it happen, so that sucked. Then all this happened, ended up going to Romania, and on November 10th or 11th, he reached back out to me. I finally started scoring a couple goals, and then he called me and he asked me if I wanted to go there. So at first I was kind of
Jesus,
I don't know about that, but I thought about it, and like I said, there was a bunch of imports in and out. Like we had a couple of guys, like they got rid of a guy that was drafted to the show, played in the KHL. He was like 35, 36, but he just, I don't know. They didn't give you very much time to prove yourself, you know. They wanted to gas all of us after the first weekend. We lost in overtime, and then lost the next 2 games in a 3-3 in Serbia and Hungary. And then we came back home and they were like, get rid of the 4 imports.
Hungary?
Yeah. So
Budapest.
It was, a couple games in Budapest.
Did you get to go out there?
No, we didn't.
You didn't party in Budapest?
We were outside of Budapest. It was called Uipest, which it sounds like it's made up.
Sounds like a poor man's Budapest.
That was, yeah, it was.
Was it probably not as good as parties? You hear all the best parties are in Budapest, man.
Yeah, I never got to.
That sucks.
I never even really got to go around Budapest, and that's too bad because that's a sweet looking city.
So is there any places you did get to go to that you really remember and that you're, you know what I mean, that you're kind of like, wow, I can't believe hockey kind of took me here?
Is that hotel real in Budapest, or is that just for the movie?
No idea.
Do you know?
No idea.
I should look into that. Sorry, keep going.
I didn't go anywhere too cool.
No, well,
It was kind of like, how did I end up in Serbia, you know?
Well, think about where. Think about it. You're from
Serbia.
This is bananas. Like, I should, you know, like, I shouldn't be here.
Okay,
but
so
it's kind of cool to be there.
Put yourself in, like, even just like your little brother's shoes, or maybe like a kid from. I think I read that you're from Newfoundland originally, but I don't know why someone said that.
Some statistics guy we got here on the high button, eh?
Stewiak
Jesus.
boy.
Yeah, I know that's what I knew, Stewiak, but someone said maybe your family was from Newfoundland. I don't know. That was
Cape Breton, but that's.
Cape Breton.
I was born in Inverness,
not Newfoundland.
so my old man's Inverness.
Have you ever been to Newfoundland?
That's right.
Have you ever
no.
been? No.
So
I haven't been anywhere.
Well, other than Hungary.
He's been to Serbia.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm just saying, like, picture you playing whatever it is in Brookfield for the Elks. I'm assuming that's what it was in minor hockey.
Yeah.
And then you're sitting there and you're going, okay, 10 years down the road, I imagine I'll be playing like probably in Serbia and Hungary and just outside of Budapest. Like,
no, last thing you'd think of.
That's what I mean. Like, at that point, as far as when you were, I mean, they had cell phones when you were playing like minor hockey and stuff like that, whereas they didn't really with us. You can see where your options are, but like it was a little bit less for you. So it's like, obviously that wasn't your main goal, was to make like the Hungary over in Hungary or whatever.
Right.
So for you at that age, what was were you an NHL guy? Were you just playing it because you loved the sport?
Like in minor hockey?
Yeah, shit like that.
Up until the point where you realize the show's not in it for you. Yeah, I was a show guy.
When was
Everybody
that?
wants to be a show guy. That's a good question. I never really thought about it. It's like you don't remember the year that you stopped believing in Santa, you know? It's
That's
like,
true.
what year did I stop thinking, like, when did I know I was like, oh, the NHL's really good?
Yeah. I think I was like 12, man.
Maybe,
I like that.
Maybe like Pee Wee, because that was when Nate was coming up and playing 2 and 3 years ahead. Like,
McKinnon?
Yeah, playing a couple years ahead, and he was just way better than us all, and he was younger, right? So he was a year younger than me and 2 and 3 years younger than the guys that he was playing against. And it was like, oh, he's the guy. Like, that's how good you got to be. These guys that were all sick, like, they're 3 years older than him, 2 feet taller than him, and he's just way better, way faster.
Better. Nate still thinks Santa's real.
He free skipped that year.
So I don't know. I was pretty young, but I always wanted, to answer your question, I guess, I always wanted to play for Churro, really, because that's my old man. Actually, he coached junior B in Brookfield when I was very young, when I was playing like novice there. Yeah. So that was my goal. I wanted to be like a Brookfield Elk, because I could hardly see over the boards, and these big dudes are going out fighting all the time. Like, I remember a couple guys that were real good, and I like watching them. So that was my first thing. Then you start going to these games in Churro. I might have been 6, 7, 8.
Yeah.
Then those are the best players you ever seen. So it's like the TV wasn't even real. Who the guys playing on there?
That's true. It's a
and
fantasy world.
I didn't know any show guys or anything like that. So it was like I wanted to play in Churro. Then after that, it was like, can I play some pro?
And then you played in Churro.
Played in Churro.
So was that when you finally like got drafted to Churro or whatever? Did you rethink back to your childhood and think like, holy shit, this is crazy? Like, I did it. You know what I mean? Because you could have went to any fucking team. I don't know why I said friggin'. That was stupid. But you could have literally essentially in the whole entire league, and you ended up where you wanted to play.
Well, they territorial pick you, right?
Yeah, well, I know.
I wouldn't that pick too.
So
the territorial thing.
We all did.
I meant to ask like what year you were with Metro. Because I feel like we played against each other.
Metro.
Did.
Right? Like, because I'm thinking when they were the Marauders, they were Metro Marauders.
2011, 2012, 2013.
17
okay,
year.
yeah, so my first 2 years.
Yeah. You were with Churro.
I can just, picture a Belanger on the back of a jersey out there.
Yeah. You did picture it or you didn't?
Are you a righty?
Yeah.
I can just picture. Yeah, no, I can. But I meant to ask you because I was like, Belanger, like, I think You played, and nothing against you, like 100 guys played for the Metro Marauders in those first 2 years I was in the league.
Yeah, man, I didn't even get to bother to know anyone. It was
some guys didn't even have the
really
right fucking
though.
jerseys.
It was pretty crazy.
We had a core group of guys, but there was definitely some guys coming from like the junior B and
when there was like when King was there and Thomas and them.
Andrew Wigington,
so
Wayne Badecki.
The team wasn't
Ben
bad
Clark.
then. It was the next couple of years that it started, like the wheels came off.
Like Adam Brown
and
and
there was a bunch of guys playing high school coming in for games and guys from all over the place.
I don't even, were they still, they were called the Marauders still, I think the third year. The first 2 years they were pretty.
Were they the Halifax
Lions.
Shipbuilders?
Shipbuilders, Lions.
It went Lions, Marauders, and then after, I don't know what.
And then Shipbuilders. The wheels fell off with the Shipbuilders for sure.
I remember Riggis telling me like the wheels fell off because Riggis was still there the year after, and then he went down and played junior B.
Yeah, and he was
somewhere.
Good.
He was great, but I think he was just fed up with the organization and he just left.
Yeah, what organization?
Exactly.
I remembered. I was like, I can see Belanger on the back of a jersey out there. You know, you can just picture like.
Yeah.
I'll remember like guys fucking tape jobs and stuff.
I'm the same way. I could tell you exactly everything about everybody that I ever played against, and I think that is what kept me from being killed. And probably you too.
Yeah, you got your head down, but you see their laces. Oh fuck!
Yeah,
you see their
fuck.
stick. Yeah,
see them in the glass coming behind you.
Yeah.
But I find it helps you as a player too. Like if I knew what stick you were using and what kind of curve or what kind of tape job, like if it was something specific, and I got my head buried in the ice, I'm trying to battle through guys, but all of a sudden I pick your blade up at the back post, and there's a lane there for me. I don't need to see that it's you.
Yeah.
You go there on your just mental memory, right? So I think those things probably help out a lot.
Do you guys think you're a better driver because you're hockey players? I always think I'm a great driver because I was a good hockey player. Like my peripheral vision, I just know my surroundings at all time. Do you ever think that?
That's weird. I don't know if I ever thought about it.
I always use that example.
Do you?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You feel like people are such bad drivers. I've almost got run into this, I'd say this summer, 3 times people just coming into the lane when you're pretty quickly passing them. But I still feel pretty in control out there.
Yeah.
I'd say the same thing. You just feel like you know what's going on around you.
I'm just like a step ahead.
Even if you try and do something stupid, I'm just going to do this. Yeah,
defensive driving is what it's called.
I just remember being 16 driving for the first time and just being like, this is a breeze. I know everything that's going on.
Sick.
Yeah, this is not a big deal.
So funny
people
that you asked that.
Though.
I always say that. I'm always like, because I'm always giving examples of where hockey helped me in my life.
Yeah.
So off the top of my head, I always think about driving. I said, from all the times I've had to shoulder check going into the corner, and especially the way I play, you really got to be alert of who's around you and how fast they're coming and what angle you have to be at. So like now I'm able to turn my head like that and pick up the Mazda 6 fucking 6-speed red coming at me in the right lane doing 130.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like just for some reason, obviously by driving over the years you pick up different things, but you're right.
Yeah, and being aware of
it's
like you said.
How many people can do this and all they see is just like a flash?
Yeah.
You're like, okay, cool.
It does make your peripheral very good.
Very good.
You work at your whole
reactions,
life.
man.
Yeah.
Think about the amount of times that a puck's been coming at your face you didn't see and you got out of the way and you're like, how?
Yeah. It's because we've been doing it since we were 5.
But you're doing things controlled still. It's not just...
Well, if you think about it, hockey is north, south, driving, north, south. It's the same direction.
And if you're taking an off-ramp, you're probably not going anywhere anyway.
Yeah. Well, there you go. What was I going to ask also? I had a great question to follow that up.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
Oh, yeah. Do you guys ever have the dream that you're playing hockey and you forget your gear, you don't have a stick? You ever have that dream?
That's called a nightmare, my friend.
Well, it happens to me. Do you ever have that? No?
No.
It happens. I talked to some hockey guys about it. It happens.
Really?
You don't have that?
No, because did you ever forget your gear before?
Yeah.
Well, that's why it happens.
You don't ever forget your gear?
I've never forgotten my gear.
You ever forget your gear?
No.
I've forgotten a piece of gear.
Whoa, wait a second. You guys have never forgotten a piece of gear. Even when
I
you're
thought
younger.
You meant full gear, like your whole bag, like you got to the rink.
No.
Fuck.
No, just like, wait, are we talking about the dream or are we talking about real life?
Well, the dream.
Real life, if we ever forgot gear, I don't think I've ever forgotten
Like
gear.
minor hockey, you've never forgot an elbow pad.
Oh, maybe an elbow pad or something. I wouldn't remember that now, though.
I just play without
But
it.
I never, forgot my skates or a stick. Like you said, the stick and the dream, I guess. I never forgot my sticks or anything.
If I ever forgot something in real life, it was like an elbow pad or a shin pad or something. But no, in the dream, like I'll have a dream where I'm out there and I don't have a stick. I'm playing with my skates. And I just can't get my stick. No, it happens.
Frustrating.
I get a kick out of
worst.
the people. Like baseball players, they'll come to the field and they don't have their glove. I'm like...
That's one thing you need.
There's one fucking piece of equipment in baseball. It's like you come, like if you're a construction worker or a carpenter and you come to work with no drill.
Yeah.
Or you're a driver and you come without the keys. Like, you don't forget your gear. I'm sorry. Like, and the excuses from the kids. Well, my mom packed my gear. Well, that's even fucking worse. Pack your own shit.
I was so bad at packing my gear when I was younger. So whenever we'd go on these, like when we went to the Quebec, do you ever go to that tournament in Pee Wee, the Quebec?
No, I didn't.
So it's like
the Warrior Meltdown.
No, that's later on in life. I went to that.
Oh, is it
the UNB thing?
I don't know. I didn't go to any of them. But I know what you're talking about. It's like the biggest tournament in North America.
In Pee Wee, at least, yeah. So this was like the furthest we would have ever traveled at the time. Fucking going to fucking Quebec. So I remember just taking all my gear up in my room, just laying it out. Just like, all right. And I had a checklist. I had a list. All right, cup. All right, shin pad right, shin pad left. Just putting it all because I was so nervous to drive all the way to Quebec and just forget something because it's happened multiple times. I've forgotten shit. Oh, thank God.
No, man.
All right, Mom, got to drive back to Quebec from Quebec. Get
you had family in Quebec, you'd have been good. There's
no one plays hockey though.
3 million fucking sports stores in Quebec every 10 square feet. Steve, that's sport. I was gonna say something on that note, and then I think I just got burnt out. My brain stopped working.
We're on an hour here.
Oh, there's something on here.
Oh, take it away, Colby. Do you have anything to ask us?
I don't
Jesus,
think so.
you're just talking about yourself this whole time, man.
Know.
Come on.
I got a couple notes. So there was a Matt Brenton, do you know that name?
Yeah, very well.
Was he on your team at any point?
Who's that?
No, he wasn't.
He wasn't? Was he in the area that you were playing?
When I was over there?
Yeah.
Excuse me. We played against each other last year. So when we were both in the second division of France, then we played against each other. Pretty good game. We played against each other shift by shift quite a bit that game too. He ended up scoring the fucking winner in overtime.
Did he?
Yeah,
he's a Stewiacke boy too, isn't he?
Yeah, he used to train me in going into that Fred Page Cup year. He's always been very good with.
You guys won the Fred Page that year too, huh?
Yeah, he's always been very good with his hockey stuff, his off ice.
Yeah.
So he used to be. Yeah, that's how we kind of got to be buddies. Was he was training me, and then
because I was always wondering if the connection was for out there was with him, right? Because I knew.
Oh right, yeah, and a lot of people have asked that actually because that would come to mind. Like that's the most obvious connection.
Because I would expect the next kid from Stewiacke that goes to do kind of what you do would ask you.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like a generational thing, right? That's crazy. The language barrier, did that affect you at all in like Russia and stuff like that?
Never went to Russia.
All right, that's not what I meant. Romania? Yeah, sorry.
That was crazy, yeah. Because you couldn't really get away with your English or your hand signals there. They just... Because they were...
Really?
That town that I was in they were forced there from Hungary, I think in the Second World War. So they were all speaking Hungarian still. So Hungarian is even harder to understand than Romanian. Romanian's got a little bit of connection to French, so I thought I might be able to do something with that. But they all spoke Hungarian. It just sounded like sounds.
Sounded like sounds.
And they didn't know much English. Like it was only a small town, so you'd go and you'd just have to point to the menu, whatever you wanted. They knew what a beer was, and that was it.
So how does a place like that get a hockey team?
The locals love it. There's nothing else to do there, so they got their big ice rink. It looks like it's a couple hundred years old, but it's actually like 75. Like it is pretty old.
But it's nice still.
I should look that. It's an old rink.
Yeah.
It was falling apart. Like things fall apart over there. They don't pick them up or do anything with it. They just leave it.
No carpentry companies running, eh?
There's just chunks of cement falling everywhere. They don't do anything. But inside, they kept the ice okay. But there's 4,000 people there at every game.
Man, people love hockey. Even if you don't get the rules, people love hockey. People love fighting. People love competition. It's the fastest game in the world. No, not in the world, but it's fastest game on ice, whatever the hell you want to call it. It's an entertaining sport.
Yeah.
You ever see that? Or you got another question?
I got a couple questions. You go ahead.
You ever see that documentary? It's about a league in Quebec. It's professional. It's like all they do is fight.
Yeah.
And I think it's based out of Laval. The boys in the rink or the boys on the bus or something.
It's called Les Boys. There was at one point.
And some of the guys live in the rink.
Yeah.
You ever see that documentary?
Yeah, you guys must. We watched it on our bus in junior A.
Yeah, we did.
I never watched.
We watched it. I thought
a bunch of just hopefuls. They think they're still going to the show, and they're just
it's like the lowest semi-pro league, right?
Yeah.
Well, technically,
there's some guys on it that like obviously know what they're doing, but there's some guys that are just so out of it that they're like just trying to grind it out and get to the show and get their spot. Like one guy's living in the trainer's room, or like in behind underneath the rink. They like cut out underneath like a SMU would have.
Oh no, I never.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
They would like be having team dinner, and like the biggest fighter on the team would be like, I heard there's a scout from Detroit coming down today to look at me. I don't know. This could be it for me. This could be it. And this guy can't even barely speak. Like, he's just a complete dummy.
I have seen that.
He's just like, oh, this could be the one for me. I should start packing my stuff up. I'm going to Detroit next week. And like, they just live in a fantasy world. I wish
fantasy world.
What is the name of it?
I don't know. Look it up. Meathead thinks because there's a town that he keeps talking about, and I always forget what it is. Because we used to watch him with the fighters.
Man, it's a hilarious documentary. They picked him up at the train station, and like the game would be in 3 hours. He'd just go right to the rink, do like bench press, and just go out and fight first shift.
Do bench press. Oh my god.
Oh man, I'm gonna watch that tonight. I gotta. If anyone's listening, tweet that fucking movie at us. Anyway, sorry. Go ahead with your questioning.
So you said you're not playing hockey this year.
As far as I know, yeah.
As far as you know.
I want to.
We'll keep that open for anybody who's listening who has an opportunity.
Well, if you can't play, there's always Fantasy League, Xbox.
That's right.
So what are you doing these days? You working?
Yeah, I just started Shipyard on Monday. So
Shipyard.
Going through orientation and training and all that now.
So what did you have to be like to go to school for that or anything like that?
Jesus, no.
No?
I'm just going to do labor.
Labor, okay, cool. So you're in the real man's world, which I've been in for a few years.
Getting there, yeah.
So I can see why you say you still want to play hockey, because I'm glad you haven't turned the page yet.
Yeah,
don't give up.
It's a fucking tough.
I don't want to. I'd play forever.
Yeah.
But you got to make a choice. It's the same as the school thing. You got to make real life choices. So I wasn't... Like, I'm not rolling in cash from playing over in fucking France 2 and 3 or Romania, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's fun, great times.
At least you can say you did it.
Times, yeah. But
if the right opportunity comes along, then jump on it.
I said I'd take it, but I didn't go looking really, and I would like to play if there's... It's hard. It's crazy if there's not senior that you can play in around here. Like
the East Hants League is the closest thing to it, man, in our province.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Or I guess the New
there's a lot of good hockey
League
players in Nova Scotia that just end up not playing after junior, after school, after a few years of pro or semi-pro.
Wig played in the New Brunswick Senior League.
Yeah.
Did
El Positog or El Sapogtog Hawks.
What did he say about it?
I went to a couple games, man. There's a lot. Like Chad Denny's playing in it.
There's some good hockey players.
There's really good hockey players.
I would play in that this season.
And they get good money too.
And I haven't heard much. Like, I reached out to a couple guys, and they say I don't know if there's going to be a league. They might only have 2 imports, and I've been waiting to hear back from a couple guys I haven't heard from.
Isn't there a place up in Newfoundland?
Yeah, that's the biggest league.
Yeah, that's really.
But is it just Newfoundland?
Yeah.
Like, how many teams are in it?
5 or 6.
Something like that.
Gander, Grand Falls, St. John's.
Yeah, I heard good things about that league.
Boucherville, I think.
You've heard about it
Caribou.
too? Yeah?
Caribou's.
Yeah, always. They've always had really good senior league.
Any thought of doing that?
I would, yeah.
Yeah, I guess that's a tougher league to get into as well. They got Aaron Asham played and shit, like a lot of ex-NHL guys.
Didn't he get cut?
I think probably.
I think at the deadline didn't he get canned at the deadline because they brought in someone better?
Probably.
Like, I thought that was pretty impressive. Yeah.
He's like an established NHL guy.
Yeah.
And he got canned.
Yeah, but sometimes you
somebody with more skill
past your time, man. That's all.
I guess so.
The game's not about the tough guys anymore, man. Like, I hate to say it.
Well, I would have thought like leagues like this, though. I thought that's what they would have used to sell tickets.
The Newfoundland Senior League is very good, man. Like, they go to the Allen Cup every year and usually either win it or lose the final.
Yeah, they're in the final, yeah.
If the High Button takes a road trip, man, I do want to go to Newfoundland. Like, I want to get up there. I've never been.
It's unbelievable. We went up for Junior B Atlantics. It was fucking unreal.
Man, I got to get there.
That's some fun I had, too, when I was junior hockey age. I think it was my first year.
Yeah.
And these guys won the league that year in East Hants.
In Junior B.
Oh, yeah, I remember.
East Hants was rare in that year, man.
Yeah.
We were in the parade and everything.
You're in the parade?
We had Canada Day parade, man. We had our own float and shit. The boys were hammered on it, too.
That was a big season.
It was,
you guys
man.
killed it.
But remember you said about local people earlier in the show here. And that year we had like 6 or 7 local guys. We had like 10 at the start of the year, and then they just kind of funneled out. But we had 6 or 7 guys. So if you even just think about if 3 people from each one of their families comes, he almost got a small section filled. You know what I mean? And then people recognize the name, and then that person tells their company that this is and like, man, I'm telling you, that rink I've never seen it so packed in my life.
Yeah, and such small communities too. Everybody knows everybody. Mm-hmm. You want to go watch your local boys, and a lot of people go to those games every year anyways.
Friday night, there's beer.
That's the thing to do.
You know what I mean? Especially if you're winning. Like, I remember in the playoffs, the place was packed in warm-up.
What we're talking about East Hants, right?
Yeah. Because East Hants, like, we got a good following from East Hants on this.
I bet.
And they're just like super loyal people, but at the same time, that year in Junior B, we were active in the community. Like we were doing skates and we went to Shooters when Beth just rebought it, and like I was insistent that the boys go and we hang out, and that's what it was. We were a family, man.
Right.
We were all a bunch of guys that were literally done their careers. There was a couple young guys like Cody and shit that you kind of you don't want to be like, that guy, don't look forward to this. And everyone just had the same idea. We all just want to win. I remember one time I was like, who here has won anything significant in hockey? There might have been me and maybe one other person that raised their hand just because I played in Halifax. So we had Steve Anthony.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I was like, oh my fuck. Like it just makes everybody want to win for the next guy. It was unreal. Like no one could touch us in the playoffs. It was sick. We just,
that was sick. That
win, booze. Play the next day, booze. After
I was just waiting for you after the game.
that's
hanging out at the Anthony's house.
So that would be how I'd know Colby when you asked me.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when we would have met.
That
pretty much how I know everybody's partying.
That East Hands rink seems like a fun place to play when it's packed. It's a big. You got big stands on that one side in East Hands. So it's steep. It's big.
The fans aren't ruthless there. They're just loud and proud.
You guys do pucks on the glass there?
No, it's not Yarmouth.
Not Yarmouth.
Fuck, I hate that.
That's the worst.
Everybody that's played in Yarmouth loves it though.
Wig said he loved it.
I don't think I would.
No. It's annoying. They do it in warm up.
I know.
It's the
you
worst.
You can't get mad at them, man. They're, a lot of them are mentally challenged and stuff like that. So they are.
Yeah, I know.
It's like the icy nights or whatever. Because Warren's, Billy, Wig, everybody that I know has played in Yarmouth, and it's just like a program, and it's people that they get them out to the rinks and stuff. So it's like
the fans are able to walk by the dressing room. I remember sitting out there in intermission. Some guy's walking by, putting ketchup on his hot dog, almost spills it on me. Like it's an actual thing. Yeah. No security. Just come on through.
Yeah, small town.
Nothing else to do.
You going to
the whole town's there though.
You going to Roop Sesso after this?
No, buddy. I'm a city boy now.
Are you?
No, I'm outside the city, but I'm just down the street from you guys.
Where you at?
I'm Larry UTAC.
Oh yeah.
So it's not like I'm North End or anything, but
Roop Sesso's hilarious. We asked Siller about it. And he was like, yeah, man. He's like, you got a liquor store, you got Timmy's, you got gas. He's like, all in one spot, man. It's the place to be. I was like, fucking right.
He just landed over in Czech there the other day.
Yes.
Did you know that, or was that just announced? Like he kept it private?
I would say he kept it private, but I'd probably seen as soon as the first person shared it
too. I think he went soon after he signed, so
probably the right opportunity came for him and his family, right?
I think it'll be fun to live in Prague for a year at least. Anyways, I'm sure he'll enjoy himself.
Fucking Prague. Have you guys ever been to Prague?
No.
Beautiful. It's a little. People are a little, but you get used to them. It's beautiful. Czech Republic, love it.
$1 pints, Euro pints.
Oh my God, man.
That's crazy, dudes.
He's a hockey player. If the place he's playing in, I think I know the team. I think I know the rink too. Just be loved over there. They love hockey players over there.
That's sweet.
We went to a strip club over there, and we pretended we were like I forget the name of the team. Raditon. Anyways, we went to the rink. 20,000 people. They loved the team, so we went to the local strip club. We said we were on the team. And I'm gonna leave it there, but it was a great fucking time. It worked out for us. It was a great time. But no, they love hockey players over there in Europe. He's a family man though, so Siller, if you're listening, don't go to the strip clubs. But no, it's a great time over there.
Probably bring your dog over there.
Yeah, definitely, Levi.
Imagine. I got one more question for you before we shoot out of here. If you had the chance to do it all over again, do you think you'd still probably do it close to... Obviously, no one will do it 100% the same way unless you start it and finish exactly how you pictured it.
Right.
But for the most part, do you think the route you took was good for you as a person, as far as your life, what it's done to you as a whole?
Yeah, I'd say for the most part. Mm-hmm. Like you said, everybody would change maybe a couple things. Yeah, it's tough. Like, there's things that don't work out, but you still don't regret. Mm-hmm. Then there's things that could have worked out better, and you're like, I just should have done something else. Yeah. So I'm kind of in that. Like, I'm glad I went to school. I'm glad I played in Churro. I'm glad I went to Romania. Mm-hmm. Then from there, I should have made a little wiser decisions, I think. But it is what it is. Mm-hmm. I'm glad to be where I'm at right now, so I can't regret any of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It seems to have, from our point of view, it seems to, like... You have to make the tough decisions and shit like that. So obviously you've learned something along the way. And I think probably playing in Truro for all those years made you more of a pro in life and in hockey than anything.
Yeah, they're first class.
For sure, man. Everyone I've talked to is they're pro.
Yeah.
Every person that come out of there stays true to them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
And in the grand scheme of life, I think playing hockey over in Europe, playing hockey in general, compared to some parts of the world, I think we're living pretty comfortable.
Yeah, that was my main message. If anybody who's listening might be, or younger who's listening, don't be afraid to do shit like that. Don't be afraid to make a decision and then it not work out for you.
Yeah.
just do something else.
Well, like my old man always tell me, whenever you got tough times or you're in a weird new place, he'd say, well, worst case, you come home. Yeah. That's it. You got to come home. Here we are.
It's so simple, but it almost gave me a chill to think about. You know what I mean? You're like, yeah,
you're an 8-hour flight from home, anyway.
And then you're thinking, do I like home that much?
Yeah.
I'll stick it
out. So that's good though. But your dad was a hockey coach, so he understands the grind, right?
Yeah, hockey guy.
Hockey guy.
He gets it.
He's a hockey guy.
Good fella.
Your whole family is.
Yeah.
Right on. Time flies, man.
Hour 14 minutes here.
It ain't bad.
No, it ain't bad at all.
See, I tell you, man, you just get going and you just talk for hours. Not hours, but you just
like
you
going
just talk,
to a restaurant, man, catching up with one of the fellas. It's the best job ever.
I know, man. You know what we were supposed to do? The podcast me and you did. We should have had some beers for that one.
We got to start planning better. That's all. Anyways,
fridge right there.
Trust me, I'm thinking about I don't know. We'll have a studio here eventually. Like one day, we will have a studio, and in the room there'll be a mini fridge with beers.
For the guests as well.
Yeah, for the guests as well. Also, not even whiskey. Whiskey could get a little dangerous.
Well, we'll have a shuttle service. Yeah, so we're good.
Depends how long. I'll end up sitting here for 3-4 hours. You bring out the whiskey.
It's like.
Do you know another thing I want to do too is be able to smoke a cigar? I know you said you want to smoke a joint on a podcast, but it's if I'm in an apartment and we turn one room into the studio, do apartments allow smoking? Is there such thing as a smoking apartment anymore?
Not really, but I got an easier solution for you.
Don't say outdoor studio because it's not happening.
Fuck that. No.
You can't do a podcast in the winter.
Your smoke anyways. My thing is I have an easier solution for you. Instead of getting an apartment, get a car. It's cheaper. You can drive to my house. We can make the studio in my big, huge fucking space that's out there, and you can smoke, you can drink, you can fart, you can piss yourself. Doesn't matter. You can do what you want.
Yeah, but I don't see myself coming out to East Hants to do a podcast. I get that you're doing it here. I appreciate that. I'm very fortunate for you coming here. But think about guests though. Guests aren't going to go all the way out to East Hants.
So you put a high button sticker on your fucking car and you pick them up and drive them out. Then it's first class. There you go. It's off the top of my head.
All right, this is a conversation for another time. All right, Colby, thanks for coming out, man. I appreciate it. You're more than welcome to come back anytime. You're a great talker. Good for us.
Thanks for having me, boys.
No worries. Good luck with, hopefully you play this year, man. Hopefully, man, get up to Newfoundland. Do it.
I will say that I have signed a deal in the last few days.
Man, why are you telling us this now?
With Davies Plumbing and Heating in the East Hants Junior Gents League. So I'll be going up against this guy all winter if things don't work out in a different way.
You're lucky you told me that at the end of the show.
Well, that's why I'm not that stupid.
I thought he was going to say I'm going to
I've been known to be hated in that league, so I actually like playing against Davies, though. Those boys are beauties, Jimmy and Evan and all those guys.
All the boys.
They got beers on the bench and stuff. Everyone else is dead serious. So.
Am I playing this year?
Yep.
Okay, so
we figure it out. So anyways,
do I have to? How much does it cost? Anyway, we'll get into that. Whatever. We've been trying to end this thing for fucking 10 minutes. All right, so everyone listening, High Button fans, we love you. Thank you for tuning in once again. Yeah, like I said, we got t-shirts for sale. We got to get rid of those so we can get our next batch in. And it's not really about buying the t-shirts. It's about supporting the High Button in order for us to get better equipment to give you guys a better product, which is the High Button, better cameras, better microphones, whatever it may be.
Better haircuts,
things like that. Better studio.
Mini fridge,
beers. So it all comes back to you. We do truly appreciate the support that we've been getting these past, I don't know, how long have we been doing this? 6 months?
Not long enough, buddy.
Not long enough. Anyways, so go to all of our social media outlets, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, SoundCloud, iTunes. Like, comment, subscribe.
Spotify.
I really got nothing else to say. If you guys see us out, talk to us. We'll talk back. Give us some ideas. We're always looking for creative people. High Button, we are out.
Peace.